Hello everyone, this is Joe here with Joe Talks, and today we are going to take a look at the installation of an automated gate system. And so this is the automation for a gate that you might have at the end of your driveway or something. And so in this video, I'm going to go through all of the parts and pieces that I put in that system, how I received them. I did order all of these pieces through Amazon, and we'll take a look at that and the packaging, the way it was received, and then I'm going to show you the installation after I've got it all put in place, and then I'm going to go over some things I learned in the process of using this device. I've had this system installed for about a month now, and so I've discovered a few things along the way, and I'm going to share those with you at the end of the video. Okay. I ordered this kit through Amazon, and I stuck with the entire system as being components from Ghost Controls. I probably could have piecemealed some of these together from different vendors, but I thought, why not stick with all of the components that are designed to work together. So everything you see here is all from the Ghost Controls company. And so I laid all these parts out to show everything that was in the boxes as I received them. And I'll take a few moments here and just kind of walk through what all of these are. So the first part is a kit, and this is a kit that comes with the opening actuator and the control board and the solar panels. And so as you can see, it comes with all of the hardware that you're going to need, instruction manuals, and it does come with a small screwdriver. So most of the connectors inside of this panel require a smaller size screwdriver that you're probably not going to have in a standard unit or a standard screwdriver kit. So it does come with a small screwdriver. And then you have a small wiring harness with all of the connectors already in place, and then all of the necessary hardware. The kit I ordered did come with a standard remote control, and we did buy a second one, and I'll show you that in just a second. But the solar panel, actuator, and control panel. And then we also have the battery box and a kit, a set of two batteries. So two 12 volt batteries, 0.2 amp hour batteries, and those are designed, or the battery box is designed to accept those batteries. And again, those are the batteries that were recommended on Amazon. As you can see, all of the connectors are already in place, so that is nice. Another thing I like about these boxes is they do have a place to put a padlock on, so when you have this unit out and installed, somebody can't get into them and vandalize your system. So we have so that is the battery box and batteries. And then I also ordered two of the control units. So these are wireless control units, and so that's something I like, that so I don't have to run wires. I think these take some C batteries, and I ordered two of these, so one for the entrance and one for the exit. And so there's some different options that you can do with this design. You can put a push button for the exit, or there's also a sensor that you can lay in the ground that will detect if a vehicle is present. I decided to go with two keypad units for the entry and one for the exit. And the reason I did that is I didn't want someone to be able to climb the fence and push the button and open the gate. I wanted controlled access for the entrance and for the exit. So that's why I went with the two units. That might change. I may change my mind later, but for now, I'll stick with the two keypad units. And then I went with the second remote control. So this is what Ghost Controls considers their upgraded remote control. One thing I like about this unit is it has something called party mode. So if you have something going on at your house and you want to keep your gate open, you can put it in party mode and it will hold the gate open until you turn that off. That way your guests aren't having to continually put the keypad in to open the gate. So I thought that was a nice feature. And then I bought 2 of the mounting pads, so these would just mount to a 4x4 post, and then the keypad would mount on here. So got 2 of those, and then went ahead and went with the Zombie Lock. So this is the system that mounts to your gate, and this is what will actually latch your gate and hold it secure. So this is not something you would have to have. You know, you don't have to have a latch, but I wanted something there that would actually secure the gate, because if you didn't have this, someone could really just pull the pin out of your actuator and open your gate. So that keeps a little bit more security. Now these are designed, everything in this kit is designed to go with a tube type of gate, but the Zombie Lock doesn't come with the actual mounts, so you have to order those separate. Or I think you have an option where you can drill some holes in your gate, but I didn't want to do that, so I went ahead and purchased the mounts. So these are a separate purchase, but they just go on here, and then you can mount that to your gate accordingly. And then I also ordered a couple of more of these style clamps. So one of the things with the tube gate that I bought, I went with an 18-foot gate, and that gate has quite a bit of flex, and so I wanted a way to sturdy that up a little bit, because if your gate has any flex, whenever your latch comes in, you can see that's kind of a tight fit, and so you don't want a gate that's kind of bouncing around like this. You want it to be consistent. And so to stiffen that up, I'm just going to run a diagonal cable down from basically triangulate the gate to take that bounce out of the gate. And so that's what this is. And this is not a ghost control unit. This is just some random one I found off Amazon. So anyway, this is all of the components that I ordered. Again, the main kit came with the actuator and the control panel, and then all of these other units I bought kind of piecemeal on the side. So that gives you an idea of what everything looks like, how it's boxed up, how you're going to receive it. And so now the next step is to get all this stuff mounted and put the system in place. All right. Here is the final design of the system. So as you can see here, I've got it all installed. Got the solar panel mounted up top. Got the control panel, and covers just slide off. Here you can see an example of the wiring, what it looks like in its final state. Same thing with the batteries. I really like this installation with the battery box, because all of these wires come pre-run, and literally all you had to do was put the batteries in and hook the cables up, and you're ready to go. The system did come with another wiring harness in case you wanted to connect this to a standard like car battery, but if you have the battery box, you just don't use that supplied harness. And here's an example of the wiring. One thing I will say I don't like, and if anyone from Ghost Controls happens to see this video, they only give you 2 holes to run wires through. And so if you have any accessories, like I have the Zombie Lock on the system we'll look at in just a second, between that and the battery supply and the solar supply, you really had to cram all 3 of those through the one port, because the actuator wire on the second port, it takes up all of the space, and you just cannot get another wire through there. So one thing that would be nice is if they were to maybe put another hole, so if you have another accessory like a gate switch or a magnetic switch or something, that you have more room to get that in. There's what it looks like mounted on the pole or on the post, and the actuator just connects to the post. Here you can see how I have it mounted to the gate, and this is all clearly spelled out in the instructions. That's one thing I really like about this system, is it's got a really good manual that goes with it. As we come over here, we see the install of the zombie lock. One thing I will say is I really had to play with the position of this thing. As you see, I'll run it here in just a second, but that closed position is really critical to getting that to work right. I had a lot of issues, especially with this big long steel gate. This has a lot of flex to it, and this thing would just kind of bounce. And there were some times where if I didn't have it in just the right spot, that it would bounce back and not latch. So, but I think I've got that dialed in. The other thing you'll notice is that latch really does not give you a whole lot of room. And here you can see I had this set up with that zombie lock dead in the center of that latch, and in the last couple of days since I put this guide wire on here, you can tell that it has settled a little bit. So one of the things I did is I have a turnbuckle, and I can adjust this turnbuckle and raise and lower that latch just by simply turning that turnbuckle. So if you put one of these in, that might be a good thing you might want to add. So one of the other things I want to talk about with this system is it does have the ability, I'll go ahead and run this while I talk. It does have the ability to have an auto close function, and I elected to deactivate that. And the reason I did that is because the system has no safety mechanisms in place to tell it if a car is present. So if you say, for example, you pulled through this gate and say you had the auto close set at 2 minutes and another car pulled in behind you, technically that gate could close on that car, and I didn't want that to happen. So by deactivating that auto close, it requires a push of the button to open and close the gate. So that way I know there's always going to be human eyes on the gate before it actuates. And so it's kind of a safety setup that I prefer. I think that auto close might work good if you're in a remote area or something, but if you're in any kind of a position where someone could pull in your driveway after the fact, you may want to disable that. So anyway, there is the system installed and functioning, and that's it. All right, so there you have it. That is the installed system, and like I said, I've had this thing running now for about 30 days. It works pretty well. The one thing I would say is the specific to my application, I've got a really long gate. So I've got an 18-foot gate, and that thing flexes a lot. And the biggest problem that I've had so far is getting that zombie lock to stay lined up with the receiving latch. And so I think I'm going to have to come up with a better design with that. Maybe come up with a custom-made latch. And when I get that done, I'll make another video and show everyone what I did. I got an idea in mind, but I don't have it done yet, so I don't want to show it in this video. But the system as a whole seems to work. The batteries have stayed charged up pretty well. The remotes work. My house is about 1,000 feet away from the gate, and I can stand on my front porch and open and close the gate okay. Like I mentioned earlier, the system does not have any type of protective elements designed into it. So there's nothing in the system that shows you if a car is sitting in the middle of the gate swing zone. And so there is a lot of potential that this thing could damage someone's car. So make sure you keep that in the back of your mind. And with your application, if there's a risk for that, you might do something like I did and disable that automatic close function. Again, like I said earlier, that way if you have to push the button to close the gate, that way you've always got eyes on the gate and that zone, and you can make sure that there's no cars or nobody in space before you close the gate. But other than that, the system works okay. The one other thing I did find is that, again, unique to my application, I think, with this real long gate that kind of has a lot of momentum when it starts and stops. The mounts on the tube, the brackets that come with it, they have kind of worked loose a little bit. And so the fasteners that came with it, I think they're just some cheap, I don't even think they're grade 5 fasteners. And I've already noticed that the more I tighten them down, they bend. I'll probably replace those with some grade 8 fasteners and really crank those down tight. And if that doesn't solve it, the brackets do have some through holes that you can drill through the gate and firmly bolt those brackets in place. I want to avoid drilling into that gate if I can, because I don't want a bunch of holes in my gate allowing water to get on the inside of those tubes. I don't want it to rust out prematurely, so I want to try to avoid that if I can. But if I have to, that'll be kind of a last case scenario. So anyway, that is the system, and I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, by all means, shoot me a comment below. And as always, like and subscribe. Help me out. I'm trying to grow my channel a little bit, so every little bit helps. All right, so that's it. All right, until the next one. God bless.